Hi, welcome to a game called The Farmer Was Replaced. It is a surprisingly fun little Python programming idle game. I dabbled in it a little bit yesterday, kind of got through the beginnings, and then wanted to kind of start fresh and kind of record my perspective on it as I go. For a little bit of background, I guess, in my programming or like Python specific background, I'm an analyst as my day job. I've been doing that for quite some time. So I don't write production code, but I do write a fair bit of like Python automations, and I like to think my code is at least passable. So it'll be a very interesting opportunity to kind of see how this game works, try to solve some fun little problems without doing anything too crazy, and then kind of see how the game introduces complexity over time, and just have the internet maybe roast my ability to write some code. So with that being said, we can go ahead and get started. So the cool thing that this game does is it actually lets you write or capture your code in the save files. So I've initialized this as an empty Git repository. So as we hit different milestones in the game, then I'll actually commit them and push them into GitHub. And hopefully, again, it's a cool way to see the progression of the game. So we'll go ahead and get started with our general little documentation here. I think when you first open it, I opened it to get the save set up and stuff, but you'll see this first program screen at the beginning, which will basically just tell you like, hey, all we really have available is this harvest function, which I'm going to do the true programmer way and just copy and paste a few times because we don't have anything other than a harvest function yet. We'll have to get a few more things, and that should be enough. If we go to our little upgrades thing, which is flashing, we can buy a while loop. So instead of handwriting all of this stuff, we can write everybody's favorite loop: while true harvest. Oh, right, I can't type. Fun times. We'll also see the fun little phenomenon of it's 10 times harder to write code when somebody is watching you or somebody might be watching you, which is a really fun little phenomenon. Basically the curse of live demos. All right, we have a couple of things. We can increase our speed a little bit, and then we can also save up for some math, but I say we do speed first. And now they introduce the can harvest as a little check. So all we have to do is just if can harvest. Just add a little if statement, only harvest if we can, so we don't harvest anything too early. We don't actually need an else statement here. It'll just, I feel like a good thing to do, generally speaking, would be to have some sort of sleep or some sort of wait in there, so you're not just having your computer process this while loop as fast as it possibly can. So we could do something like I haven't actually tried petting the piggy yet. Let's try it. All right, I mean, that's horribly slow, so it's fun to try, and we got an achievement for it. Let's leave it as do a flip for now, which is, again, like, in terms of the game, this is actually really slow, so we're even just going to get rid of it entirely. Now we probably have more updates here. Let's expand, and that unlocks movement. It'll be a while before we get any sort of like functions or any of that kind of fun stuff. So let's go ahead and do a new function, just so we can leave main running for a minute. Now, one of the other things that I guess I didn't actually show it. And then here we go, this is the important thing. If it moves over the edge, it'll wrap back, so it'll kind of overflow to the other side. So we can start with a simple while true again. And if we want to, this is mandatory, get this error by saying pass for now. So we're going to call this clear function. We'll just always start at 0, 0. We'll obviously put on our hat. Change hat to hat dot straw hat for now. So while true, we're going to see if we can harvest. I think I spelled that right. Harvest. So if we can harvest, we'll harvest, and then after that, we'll just move north. And then that move north will just obviously send itself back over the edge and right back to the start here. So I believe that should do. Stop our main function. I'm just going to put this in main. I don't actually really like keeping multiple runner type modules. So we don't have the clear function yet. Okay, it actually does not matter at all here. I guess we already had the straw hat applied, so I didn't need to do that. Anyway, we have plenty of stuff here, so let's go ahead and unlock some things. We need wood to expand any further, so let's buy some bushes. And then we can also get, or the other thing, we can do this. All right, simple enough. So we're gonna plant entities dot bush. So we're gonna only do bushes here. Obviously we have enough hay for now. And in just a moment, after another unlock or two, I think we'll kind of build in this idea of planting different things in different spaces. And while we're waiting for some wood to accumulate, we've got for loops now. So once again, let's go ahead and write our new code in F0 so we can leave this running. While true is still going to be our outer loop. I believe we have this clear function now. Changing that to that's not straw. It's capital H. So while true, now we're going to do two for loops. For x in range, get world size. Boy, if I could spell. And then for y in range, get world size. Importantly, we need to remember to call our move function. So here at the end of the y, we're going to call move north. And then at the end of the x, we're going to call move east. And then this will make sure that our position stays in sync with these for loops here. Now, similarly, we'll call if can harvest. Oops. Harvest. I'm actually quite lucky that this is working the way it is, because I have a logical error here. I only want to plant if I've already harvested. Like, I don't want to plant anything over anything, but the game doesn't seem to allow that to happen. So that's actually quite convenient, because that should have been a bug. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, and now we'll say plant entities bush. Actually, we have plenty of wood, so let's go ahead and actually do... Oh, we don't have variables yet. That's fun. We need way more hay for that. We can unlock carrots, though, so let's maybe go ahead and do that. And then let's just not plant anything here. Okay, let's go ahead and just move this over here, and we'll just plant a 3x3. Oh, I spelled change wrong. Nice. Save. Oh, right. I don't know why I'm hitting save, because I don't think I need to. Cool. Now this will just, work on getting us some more stuff. Speed. I definitely want to purchase speed. Awesome. We can buy operators now. Cool. That's going to be quite handy. I can close this out. We're just going to develop this in the main module. I think I need sensors for what I would like to do. If we can harvest, then we harvest, and then we know the ground below is not otherwise occupied. There's going to be better ways to do this later, I believe, but what we'll do, we've harvested. Now if y modulus, let's just do this. If y equals 1, this is going to be it's effectively the same thing. We don't have functions, we don't have a lot of handy stuff. So hard coding it is. What we're going to do is we're going to plant a bush entities dot bush if y is 1. So we're going to also start doing some carrots. So we're going to make this 0 row. So for x in get world size, we're going to till, and then we're going to move east. And that's not how that works. Move east. So what this is going to do is till our first row, row 0. And then we can do if y equals 0, plant entities dot carrot. And then we'll also go ahead and clean up this misspelling over here of plant entities dot bush. So we know the ground should already be tilled, so we'll go ahead and plant carrots, and then that's just going to cost us, I believe, planting carrots cost wood and hay. These items will be automatically deducted, so we don't have to track any of the cost. Error here because it over-indented. plant entities.bush, plant entities.carrot, otherwise we're not going to plant anything, and then that'll leave us with grass. I think we're good to go. Am I stupid? Oh, in range. I definitely know how to make a for loop, because trust me, bro. Alright, we got our till. We're not planting carrots, though. Oh, that's why. Right, okay. Yep, I didn't think about how I was doing this. So, this is where, again, sensors would be really nice, but I actually want to just plant. I want to plant an entities.carrot, and I also want to spell entities correctly. And that seems to be working pretty decently. So we're going to plant. Oops, right, I forgot I stopped it. Let me just go and copy this. And I'm just writing some comments here, so I'm just going to write these in F0 so we don't have to take away our main function here. Awesome, and we're doing decently well. It'd be nice if we could speed things up a little bit, but I don't think we can do. We need 50 and 50, so it'll take just a little while. We can expand again. And that would give us 2 rows. I think I'll hold off on expansion for a little bit. I think I'd rather speed things up a little. And then we can start to look at trees possibly, which will give us more wood. Or we can we can get senses actually right now. That's probably good. So first, here's what I'll do. While this is running, I will actually go ahead and create our little checkpoint. So now, I think we're back to the game. Let's go ahead and... I'm thinking variables is a good thing to get here. And then, let's expand. And then we can expand again to 6x6. I mean, a lot of this is going to get really fun, like functions and stuff. But I also want to challenge myself to not make any crazy changes all at once. Okay, so we have a 4 of 4 grid now. If everything is still here in the world size, we now have variables. And we can expand again. We can improve our speed. I would very much like to do that. I think I'm going to keep a pretty clean kind of archive of our work here in function 0. I'm going to change some things. So we now have trees, and then if we look at trees, okay. Trees are a way better way to get wood than bushes. They give 5 wood each. Like bushes, they can be planted on grass or soil. I like to have some space, so it'll take double the time for each surrounding kind of tree element here. I wonder what the show is. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. I don't actually want like a hint. Okay. We're going to do something slightly different here. Okay, so we're going to start using a modulus here. So I believe what we can do is we can use modulus to give ourselves a bit of a grid. Or I guess all we really need to do is just do a modulus here, and then on alternating columns, which would just be another modulus check, we can kind of offset that by 1, and then that'll give us a pure grid. And then, similar to how we did it before, we can say on this row or this column, plant this kind of crop. Or I can get senses, actually. Senses. Okay, then this will allow us to start looking at like getting our own position and things like that. That's only 100, so I'm totally cool with that. Find out how many of a particular unlock you have. I don't think I care about these like num unlock stuff. Okay, let's think. What's the best way to do this? So we have senses, so I'm gonna actually remove this. And then what we'll do, okay, so let's just, in our comments, let's figure out the, so let's say row 0. What do we want to focus on? We definitely don't need hay. We have over 1,000 hay. So we're gonna do like 2 and 2 between carrots and say bushes, and then we'll just put trees wherever we can as our current plan. Carrots, one less tree. 2 and 3 is going to be bushes, one less tree. All right, so now we basically just want to calculate this grid position. So if, and now that we have sensors, we can do get position x modulus 2 and you know what, here we'll do maybe x position check, because we don't want to use this for anything outside of this check, is going to equal get position x. And then if get position y mod 2 equals 1, position check plus equals 1. Now, so what we're doing is only on alternating grids, we are offsetting our check position by 1. Now what this should do, in theory, is it should offset this grid pattern on alternating rows to slide over. And then once we handle this tree, then what we're going to do, instead of get position x, I also need to add parentheses to get position y, position check. Close parentheses, increment by 1. Modulus 2 equals 1. Boy, this is gross. I don't like this. This feels like really messy Python, but I don't have functions, so everything has to happen in one shot. And then get ground type not equal grounds dot soil. I believe we need to till on trees, right? Wood, trees, if we need to, like bushes, they can be planted on grass or soil. Okay, so I don't need to worry about this. So we're just going to plant dot tree. And then I'm going to continue. No, actually, hang on. Say less than or equal to 1 greater than. Okay, so if here's where I need the ground type. Get ground type not equal to grounds dot soil till. Now this is a mess. Don't get me wrong. And then similarly, bushes can go anywhere, and we don't want any hay. And then I don't actually need this else if. And then we can delete this comment. Okay, I think I like it. This should put trees in a grid, and if it doesn't, we'll figure that out. I don't actually want to early exit, because that'll cause all sorts of problems with movement. This can just be an else. We have some error somewhere. This is one of those examples of I probably wrote too much code in one step here. Ah, right. Yep, my bad. I forgot to take the if condition out of from an else if to an else. Alright, now we should be good. Alright, we got some trees going down in a grid. Nice. Cool, cool. Look at that. Trees are taking just a second to grow here. Cool. I think that worked pretty well. Go ahead and pause it there, and we'll make our next plan.